Welcome to the celebration of Peter Rogos and Valentina Canonico's wedding. This is not only a celebration of love, dedication, friendship, family, and of two people who are choosing each other as their forever partners, but also a celebration of their first anniversary. It's probably rare that almost 200 people show up for your first anniversary party, but as this past year has shown us, there is no such thing as normal anymore. As unique as this day is that Val and Peter have planned, especially for themselves, and as unique as we all are individually, we are unified in our desire to see these two young individuals choose each other in love for their futures. We celebrate the love between them, as well as the love we have for them individually and as a couple. This includes the love of their parents, their siblings, families, as crazy as our side might be, Peter, and their friends. Love is what brings us here today. Love might be messy, challenging, enlightening, playful, or weird. As Dr. Seuss said, people are weird. When we find someone with weirdness that is compatible with ours, we team up and we call it love. As one of my favorite authors, Brene Brown, stated, love is uncertain. It is incredibly risky, and loving someone leaves us emotionally exposed. Yes, it's scary, and yes, we're open to being hurt, but can you imagine your life without loving or being loved? Valentina and Peter couldn't imagine life without each other, and they're standing here to offer each other that weird, uncertain, risky, and committed love. We are all here as your friends and family to commit to encourage and support you through the journey ahead. The plans for this wedding didn't start looking out quite like it is, but no ceremony or even two ceremonies can create that marriage. Only you can do that through love and patience, through dedication, through listening, through supporting and believing in each other. By spending a year in a shutdown, learning to live with each other 24/7, month after month. By learning to make the most important things matter, and by letting go of the rest. What this ceremony can do is to witness and affirm the choice you make to stand together through it all. We are here to pause, look back, and smile at all the moments that they brought them here. Val's cousin Peter, yes, how ironic, same name, introducing them, like getting engaged, like planning not only one, but two weddings. Family get-togethers, which all look different than planned at first in the past year. It's now time to look ahead at all the moments that are still to come. I'm here, and we're here, because we want those moments for you. We're here to hope with you, to support you, to be proud of you, and to remind you that love isn't happily ever after. Love is the experience of writing your story. It's not one moment, or even this moment, it's every moment. Big ones like today, or moving in together, getting engaged, but mostly a million little ones that come in between the moments. Falling asleep next to each other, making dinner, or at least Peter cooking. Please, Val, don't do that. Spending holidays with your families. Those can be interesting to say the least. Family vacations to Colorado, binge watching Netflix shows, or getting a big hug when you get home from work. These everyday moments fuse together into one big experience. I'd like to invite Emma forward at this time for our first reading.
I will love you forever, whatever happens. And after I die, and when I find my way out of the land of the dead, I'll drift about forever, all my atoms, till I find you again. I'll be looking for you every moment, every single moment, and when we do find each other again, we'll cling together so tight that nothing and no one will ever tear us apart. Every atom of me and every atom of you will live in birds and flowers and dragonflies and pine trees and in clouds and in those little specks of light you see floating in sunbeams. And when they use all our atoms to make new lives, they won't just be able to take one, they'll have to take two. One of you and one of me. We'll be joined so tight, I will love you forever, whatever happens.
Thank you, Emma. Peter and Val, you fell in love by chance. You're both here today because you're making a choice. You are choosing each other. You've chosen to be with someone who challenges you, who makes you think, who makes you smile, and makes every day brighter. You are about to make promises to each other that you intend to keep. You're going to vow to take care of each other, to stand up for one another, to find happiness in each other. There's a simple premise to one of these promises. You're vowing to be there. You're teaming up and saying to each other, every experience I am going to have, I want you to be part of. If you could face each other and take hands and pass your flowers. Okay, Peter, please take Val's hands. Peter, we're going to start with you. Please repeat after me. I, Peter, take you, Valentina, to be my lawfully wedded wife.
I, Peter, take you, Valentina, to be my lawfully wedded wife.
I take you with all of your faults and all of your strengths.
I take you with all of your faults and all of your strengths.
As I offer myself with all of my faults and all of my strengths.
As I offer myself with all of my faults and all of my strengths.
Before these witnesses, I pledge to share my life openly with you.
Before these witnesses, I pledge to share my life openly with you.
To speak the truth to you in love.
To speak the truth to you in love.
I promise to honor and care for you.
I promise to honor and care for you.
To cherish and uplift you.
To cherish and uplift you.
I vow to encourage your own fulfillment as an individual.
I vow to encourage your own fulfillment as an individual.
Through all of the changes of our lives.
Through all of the changes of our lives.
I choose you as the person with whom I will spend my life.
I choose you as the person with whom I will spend my life.
Valentina, it's your turn. I, Valentina, take you, Peter, to be my lawfully wedded husband.
I, Valentina, take you, Peter, to be my lawfully wedded husband.
I take you with all of your faults and all of your strengths.
I take you with all of your faults and all of your strengths.
As I offer myself with all of my faults and my strengths.
As I offer myself with all of my faults and my strengths.
Before these witnesses.
Before these witnesses.
I pledge to share my life openly with you.
I pledge to share my life openly with you.
To speak the truth to you in love.
To speak the truth to you in love.
I promise to honor and care for you.
I promise to honor and care for you.
To cherish and uplift you.
To cherish and uplift you.
I vow to encourage your own fulfillment as an individual.
I vow to encourage your own fulfillment as an individual.
Through all of the changes of our lives.
Through all of the changes of our lives.
I choose you as the person with whom I want to spend my life.
I choose you as the person with whom I want to spend my life.
At this time, I'm now going to ask Peter's brother Paul to bring the rings to the bridesmaids and groomsmen. Or not, maybe. All right, there we go. Each member of the bridal party will pass the rings to warm them with their positive, loving, supportive thoughts. As they pass the rings to one another, we will hear wisdom on a long-lasting marriage from Peter and Val's friend Jim, who has been married to his lovely bride Bonnie for 58 years. Jim, if you can come on up. Mike's all yours.
18 years ago, I was at my Rotary Club's weekly meeting, and we had reached the part of the program where the club members had the opportunity to donate what they call happy dollars and explain why they're happy. And that might have been because somebody in the family had had an important occasion, or, in my case, because of a wedding anniversary. So I gave some happy dollars, and I said I was happy because Bonnie and I had just celebrated 35 years of wedded bliss, which I thought was pretty good considering we had been married for 40 years. Well, unfortunately for me, my words reached Bonnie before I did that day, and I quickly understood that she hadn't fully appreciated my attempt at humor. And I began wondering whether I should be looking forward to a 41st anniversary. And that's just one example of how to have a long, happy marriage. Other more serious thoughts about marriage were written by Wilford Peterson. in his work, The Art of Marriage. I'm going to read a brief excerpt from that work, and when I finish sharing this wisdom, I'll give you my interpretation of how to have a long and happy marriage. So, from The Art of Marriage, happiness in marriage is not something that just happens. A good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. And I'll add to that, stay up and fight. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue through the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together, facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers the whole family. It is doing things for each other in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow old. I know a lot about that one. It is a common search for the good and for the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. It is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner. I promised you I'd give you my thoughts on how to have a long and happy marriage. I can summarize that in 2 words. Yes, dear. So Val and Peter, when I first read through this excerpt from The Art of Marriage, I had you two very much in my mind. I remembered the many times that I saw the expressions of love and appreciation in your eyes when you looked at each other. And I remembered the many thoughtful things I'd heard you say to each other. I think I know you well enough to know that you're well along the road to a very long, a very happy, and a very loving marriage. I love you guys.
Thank you very much, Jim, for giving these weird, wonderful partners advice as they celebrate their marriage. Tori, can you please hand Val and Peter their wedding rings? Peter and Valentina, you have both chosen to wear rings as a reminder of the promises you are making to each other. Your bridal party is standing here beside you, and your rings have passed among them as a promise to love and support you through thick and thin. These rings have no end, just as your love and promises to each other will last a lifetime. Valentina, you're first. Valentina, will you keep Peter as your favorite person to laugh with him, go on adventures with him, support him through tough moments, be proud of him, grow old with him, and find new reasons to love him every day?
I will.
Give him the ring. Peter, you can hold Val's hand. Peter, will you keep Valentina as your favorite person to laugh with her, go on adventures with her, support her through life's tough moments, be proud of her, grow old with her, and find new reasons to love her every day?
I will.
Peter and Valentina, you have just celebrated and sealed your relationship by giving and receiving of the rings that you have committed to share the rest of your lives with each other. And now you may kiss each other for the first time, the second time, as husband and wife.